Well, sports fans, we're back here on Play It Right, and this time we've got the man to talk about the Gilas program, none other than the Gilas project director, Tab Baldwin and Dyan. I'm very excited to find out a lot of new things about what's going on in the Calamba bubble and with the
Yeah.
Gilas program.
It's a work in progress. I think probably all of us have been a part of projects that when you take it from the beginning, sometimes it looks like it can never get to the finish line. But as we get much closer to the finish line, we're beginning to see, the evolution of the team, the evolution of the players. We're beginning to see some things come to fruition. But, with our ultimate goal being 2023 and beyond, we're still very much in the early stages. But right now we're right in the middle of game preparation for the upcoming game with Korea on the 14th. It's going to get here much sooner than we will be prepared for, but we will have to do the best that we can to get as prepared as we possibly can.
Can you give us an idea of what it's like a day in the life of your team in the bubble? Like, what's your schedule like?
We work on a schedule of about 11 to 12 practices a week. So some days are two practices, some days are one practice. So those days where they have two practices, they're up at around 7. They get their breakfast, and we want them to get that, into their stomachs before usually what is a 9 o'clock practice. Then they have the afternoon off, and then we usually come into a video session, and then we go on the court for another couple of hours, and then they're free for the night. The coaches, we meet after each practice. We watch the practice that we just had. We watch all the live parts of the practice, and then we do that again at night, and that's when we plan the next day's practice sessions after we watch the videos.
Well, no pros in your lineup, Coach Tab. All young guys. How are they responding to the challenge? You were talking about their routine. That's a really hectic schedule.
Well, you're right, Quinito. This is a new adventure for these players. I can promise you that. And while they have the energy for it, the mental application is something that we're constantly trying to massage them to be more diligent in understanding the game, understanding what we want from each practice. And then, it is a big physical demand as well, but we think that they can manage that. It's the mental part that we see lapses in practice when they look tired, they look unfocused. And of course, we have to somehow crack the whip and get them refocused.
These guys are very young, and in the FIBA Asia Cup third qualifying window, we're going up against very experienced veterans. What are the expectations given the pressure confronting these young guys? And we certainly don't want to expect too much from these guys. But what about you on a personal basis, Coach Tab?
Well, my expectations are extremely high, and I don't mind if other people have high expectations or not. It's pretty irrelevant to me. The reason that my expectations are high is because I understand what these players are capable of doing in any given moment. The ability to sustain that is the challenge. And, the quality of the opposition is what puts a lot of pressure on the ability to sustain that one possession after another, plus their inexperience. But those are just excuses not to play well. The players understand, what the coaching staff expects of them, and we know what they can do and what they're capable of. This is where experience would help them immensely, and they just don't have it. So we will get that, but while we're getting it, we don't want to fail.
Coach, what about Sotto? As we all know, he's on his way to the NBL, but he did commit to the Gilas. Do you have any? I understand he is supposed to be joining Gilas before heading off to Australia. Do you have any info on the timetable for him joining the team?
We don't have firm timetables yet. There's still a lot of discussions going on, but I'm not involved personally in those discussions. I'm kind of like you. I'm kind of waiting for a final decision. I don't really want to know too much about the discussions because they're just a distraction to me. And we'll try to make smart decisions around his preparation. And he's like any player in the world except younger than most, and that is they can't walk in and be a synchronized basketball player in overnight.
Yeah.
My last two questions, Tab, would be, number one, is there a chance that the Gilas team will be able to play practice games with any PBA teams. And number two, talking about the FIBA Asia Cup, and that'll be in August in Jakarta. Will there be a chance to bring in additional players, maybe like a third-year Vena, or maybe even a Jordan Clarkson?
The answer to the first one is we're very, very hopeful for that to happen in the short term and in the longer term. But again, we're talking about a lot of parties being involved in that decision, and we're talking about health and safety protocols. We're talking about, can they come in the bubble? Do we have to leave the bubble? If we leave the bubble, can we go back in the bubble? But believe me, the SBP and the PBA, their hearts are in the right place. They're working on it. And we desperately need it to happen, but it may not happen. But I would think as the situation eases, probably by July in preparation for August, a whole nother world of possibilities may open up. As to the players, definitely after the June games, we plan on reassembling in July at some point and trying to broaden both the player pool that will vie to compete in August, but also bringing in more players to continue the process of introducing them to our culture, introducing them to our system.
Well, Coach, we're all behind you. The whole country's behind you, cheering for you, putting pressure on you. But we appreciate your hard work, your dedication, and most of all, I really love your optimism and your no excuses type of thinking. So thanks, Coach, and hopefully we can get to see some of the games of the Gilas squad.
Yeah, I hope so too. And thank you all very much for the opportunity to spend a few minutes with you. And, I wish all your listeners, please stay safe, stay healthy, and, keep saying our prayers that this thing will end sooner rather than later. And I just wish the good Lord's blessings on everybody.
Thank you, Tab.
You know what's so nice about our basketball players is that they are always so willing to represent the country, no matter what team they belong to. I'm really looking forward to seeing this team succeed and show the world what Filipino basketball players are capable of doing.
I totally agree, Dyan. And these upcoming games are going to be tough, but with the preparation the team has made, we have no doubt that they can take on the challenge. It's just a matter of executing it when the time comes.